What's going on, people? It's Baba Will. Listen, let's get right into it. I hope everyone's doing well. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, right? But let's talk about something. Right? I mean, this is, I don't understand. Okay, let me just. Everyone, as much as a few would like to believe, but I personally, this is just my opinion. It's like we're all entitled to. I don't think that everyone can be a boss. Okay, let's keep it let's keep it fair, equal, and real. Everyone can't be a boss. Everyone can't run their own operations. Everyone can't be the head of their operations. If everyone, I mean, people need to understand that. Like, and the reason why I say that is because, there are these people who have been successful in starting their own businesses, right? And that's fine. That's fine and dandy. But again, like I made a video about it. The means that it took for them to start their own business, because they would brag and say how they started it with their own monies, and were able to use the money that they used, that they obtained to create their own business, forgetting that they had indulged in illegal activity, right? So in other words, they clown people who work 9 to 5 jobs. They clown individuals who make an honest living, who work in different companies, who work for other people, because the idea is they are doing slave work. They're in a position of slavery where they have to go perform a task, and every week or 2 weeks or however they get paid, bi-monthly, monthly, whatever, weekly, they'll obtain some form of a salary or a paycheck from their supervisor or their boss. So without that, they would have nothing. And this is something that, a small amount of people I've seen clown people who have jobs, clown people who work, clown the whole idea of having a 9 to 5. Meanwhile, if you're owning your own business, right? And I understand the spirit of the entrepreneur. I understand it completely. I understand how it's great to have your own business, because these are things that you can pass down, to your children, to your grandchildren. This is a living organic thing that can create and build wealth for you. I get that. But not everyone has that drive. Not everyone has that ambition. Not everyone has that wherewithal to be able to say, you know what? And not everyone wants to have their own business, because frankly, let's be serious and let's keep it all the way truthful. When you're creating your own, it demands a great deal of concentration, attention, energy, time, research, money, resources, and the list goes on. From you, a lot more time is going to be required of you to get your business up off the ground and running. And folks do not want to apply so much of themselves into something like that. They'll talk a good game, but then they'll leave it alone. And for those who are succeeding and again, who have, developed their own business plans, and they're, created their own out of their own, much respect. This is not about taking anything away from that. That's a very noble ideal and great. But a certain level of respect should be given to those who work, to people who work, who just want to simply earn their keep, take care of their responsibilities, take care of themselves, and if they have families, take care of their families, and they shouldn't be looked down upon for doing that. They shouldn't be looked down upon for doing that. But then you have these crab, like, let me tell you something, in the hip-hop industry, right? In the hip-hop music industry, entertainment industry, you will have these drug dealers, former drug dealers, who sold their drugs, committed whatever dealings, shady dealings they did, all right, as an upstart to obtain the monies that they needed to then open up or begin a record business, or open up a record company and start a label and start signing these acts and talk about, okay, now they made it, and they made it off of the fruit of their own labor. They didn't have to borrow or take money from anyone. Well, not everyone wants to do those types of things, you know, and it shouldn't be looked down upon. If you don't want to sell drugs, if you don't want to carry a gun and shoot someone, if you don't want to commit a crime to lose your freedom or possibly even die, that should be fine. You should be in a position where you should encourage people to find other ways to raise capital, other positive legal ways to raise capital. Okay? Because it's out there, it can be done, especially if if you're black, if you're Latino, if you're Hispanic, and you're living in a marginalized community. Let's be for real. If you're living in a marginalized community and you're surrounded by poverty, and you're surrounded by criminal activity, and you're surrounded by hustlers and all types of stuff going on a negative level, this is what you're exposed to. You know, that's what the youth are going to gravitate towards. But if you as a grown adult, these these older people, the elders, you don't teach the youth other ways, then what are they left to do? You know, you have these elders who've succeeded, a small percentage who've succeeded and opened up these record companies and did whatever with it, but the means to get those monies were illegal. The means to get and to have started what they have were illegal. Okay, so what are you telling the kids? That's why you can't say it outright. You can't say it outright. You can't just go to the radio stations. You can't go to these media platforms on the internet and say what you did. You can't, go to these publications and be interviewed and asked, how did you start up your business? Right? You might be able to hear it in a song, in your work of art, right? In your intellectual property, whatever that may be. But the youth are listening. The people are listening. So you have to have some type of responsibility. Show people. Listen, you could have a 9 to 5, right? You could have a 9 to 5 and be proud of that, because you're not only do you have a 9 to 5, but if you have a 9 to 5 and you aspire for greater things, for greater goals, how are you going to attain that? Are you going to go back to school? Are you going to what is it that you're going to do to enhance your skills or to develop your skills? Or to learn a new trade or a new career outright, get into something else. What is it that you're going to do to improve your life, right? That's fine. But at the same time, you're working, you're paying your bills, you're saving money, putting money aside. That's another way you could raise some capital. It might take you some time depending on the income you're making and the nature of the business that you want to open. It might take you some time, but at least you're taking some of what you're doing, some of what you're earning from your job. So you're putting it aside to create your own business. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? But you have some of these people who will say, no, I use my own money. You just a sucker. You just a slave. You working for the man. And, without him, if you didn't have a job, he's the one that's helping you feed your own kids. How can you call yourself a man? I mean, what's the ideology is out of control. Like, it just doesn't, I get it. I understand it. But again, everyone can't do it how you did it. Everyone can't do it how you did it. There are multiple ways to be able to raise capital. Now we have crowdfunding, or fundraising. Do something out of the ordinary. Create something where you might do a raffle, or it's not even about doing a raffle. You're just generating interest by way of create a marketing plan where, okay, this is what I want to do. This is, let me see if I can get interest. Survey the land, whatever nature of business you want to do. There's a whole bunch of ways where you can create something out of nothing. But also know that having that job, having that job to help you develop your work ethics. Sometimes you have to have work ethics before you even have a job, so that you'll be able to work on time and do productive work and move up the ranks in whatever corporate field that you're in, or nonprofit, private sector, government sector, whatever. But you know what you can offer, you know what you bring to the table, and you know what you want to do. And a lot of times, what's wrong with having a job if you love what you do? They say if you love what you're doing, you'll never work a day in your life. But because you engage and you're loving the service, whatever it is that you're giving back to the people, that you're offering to people, is something that you love to do. You should be proud of that. You shouldn't have to feel as if you're less than, especially if you want something better for yourself. Or you have a mission, you have a goal. Like, you can be a person who has a 9 to 5. You have a 9 to 5 and you're providing for your family. How are you a sucker? How can you be humiliated for that? Sure, that if you're working as a janitor, a custodian, and you have children, you have a wife, you have children. This is perspective, from male perspective, of course. This example, when the children grow up, and if you remain in that role, that's not a job that you can pass down to your kids, because you don't own that job. I get that. I get the premise of that. That's why it's important to own, right? But with that custodian job, that custodial job that you have, you were able to help rear, to help provide, to help protect, and to help offer a decent lifestyle for your children. You should be proud of that. You should be proud of that. You showed your kids by example what it is to be a hard-working human, being a hard-working man, paying your taxes, following the laws, being a law-abiding citizen, a law-abiding father, a law-abiding husband, a law-abiding parental figure, a law-abiding role model. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. This is an example. These are things that are lacking in the black community too. Don't talk about. Let's not even go there. It's something that's already lacking. So if you find a black man who's working, and this is what he chose to do. I mean, you gotta think about it. This is what he's choosing to do. You gotta respect it. But no, you got some people who are gonna call him a clown. Who are gonna call him a slave. Does that even make sense? Does that even make sense? People have a choice to do, have a right to exercise their free will to do whatever it is that they want. I'm not going to call somebody who doesn't want to have a business. They'd rather work a full-time job to offer the best that they can to their family. And that's what they're doing. To me, that's not a sucker. That's not a sucker. Because he's doing the best as he can. And she's doing the same thing also. But then you'll hear the criticism from these people, these entrepreneurs, right? That, that much success to them. But they'll clown these individuals who just want to work and call them slaves. You want to go to a corporate plantation, go pick cotton. Some people just choose to do that. Some people choose to do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Especially if they can do whatever it is that they want. There's nothing wrong with having a job and being able to use some of the capital some of the money that you earn from your job, put it aside and create your own business that way. So they're using someone else's money to be able to create their own opportunity. They're a sucker for doing that. Meanwhile, you got your money. It's not everyone though, but some of you got your money by committing illegal criminal acts. And you think that's cool? You think that's cool? You got your money selling drugs, hurting people, taken away from the community, selling drugs. and you took those proceeds to create your record business, and so now you're a boss is because you never used anyone else's money. You got the money, you got the product on consignment, as they say, right? And you did what you had to do to make the money back, to give back to the supplier, and whatever money you made, you put it back in until you kept doing that and turning it over, what they call flip, until you were able to take a good portion of this money to create your own business. Everyone can't do that. I mean, everyone can't do that. So respect the 9-to-5, especially if the 9-to-5 has goals, especially if the 9-to-5 is providing for their children, providing for themselves, providing for their family, and they're being responsible. There's some people out here who talk, who are not even doing that. Who are not even doing that. Who have no job, are jobless, are living off of people. Might be receiving assistance, have no goals, are not driven. But, you want to down the 9-to-5 person. You want to downplay them. Some people just don't want to start their own business. It's all right. Some people don't want to invest. Some people don't want to own. That's just what it is. I don't subscribe to it. I understand the benefits of ownership. I understand the benefits of investing. I understand the benefits of working. And another thing, how are you going to run a business if you don't have workers? So why are you going to disrespect working? How are you going to run your own business without workers? So you're going to downplay the workers, or you're going to call the workers partners? Is that how you flip the language to change the psychology, to make it feel better for you, or make them feel better about themselves? I guess maybe that's how you do it. Instead of calling your employees or workers or staff, you call them partners, but they're actually partners. You're the head of the operation. You still have to cut the checks and offer it to them. I don't know. I don't know. And actually, what do I know? Hey, what do I know? Well, listen, leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to you later.